Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the blood vascular system or circulatory system in Amphioxus. The blood vascular system of Amphioxus is of closed type. It is a well developed and peculiar. Amphioxus does not contain a heart. Its circulatory system is among almost similar to found in all the vertebrates. All blood vessels have muscular walls and are contractile in nature. Only the dorsal aorta has endothelial lining. Nearly all the blood vessels are similar in structure, but due to their homologies with the blood vessels of vertebrate, some of them are called as arteries and some are called as veins. There are no true capillaries. Main vessels and their branches are as follows. First one is sinus venosus. It is a large sac situated below the posterior end of the pharynx, and the blood from different parts of the body is brought to the sinus venosus through many veins. It pumps the blood into the ventral aorta. So, if you observe the structure of these sinus venuses, it is placed at the ventral side or ventral position, and from sinus venuses, the blood from all the parts of the body it is collected to the sinus venuses, and from sinus venuses, blood goes to the ventral aorta, and then from this ventral aorta the blood goes to the afferent artery. That is a primary and a secondary. This one is a secondary prime afferent artery, and that is a efferent, that is a primary afferent branchial artery, and at the base there is a bulbous structure that we call it as a bulbillus. So the from sinus venuses blood reaches to where? The ventral aorta. From ventral aorta it goes to the bulbillus. Then from bulbillus it is that is through the what? These branchial afferent branchial arteries, they crosses the what? The gills. Okay. And after that these afferent arteries it becomes a efferent, and these efferent arteries it forms the dorsal aorta, that is the right and the left dorsal aorta, and before joining to the dorsal aorta they form a plexus, and that plexus is called as a glomus. Anteriorly, these dorsal aorta it goes towards the head and it forms a carotid artery. Posteriorly, these both the afferent dorsal aorta they come together and it forms a median dorsal aorta, and median dorsal aorta it goes posteriorly to form the caudal artery. So this way the blood is circulating from sinus venuses then to the what? The dorsal aorta, afferent blood vessel, then the what? Bulbillus, then next to that the efferent blood vessels, and to the after that the the portion of the blood vessels which are crossing the gills, these are called as a branchial arteries, and the what? The after these gills, that is these are the efferent branchial arteries, and these are the afferent branchial arteries. Okay, and then next to these are the dorsal aorta. This dorsal aorta it forms the what? The median dorsal aorta, and posteriorly it forms a caudal artery. This so if you observe the, we have discussed the first sinus venosus, then it is a large sac-like structure that is at the end of the pharynx, and it pumps the blood into the ventral aorta. Then second one is the ventral aorta or subendostylar aorta. From sinus venuses, a large, highly contractile, longitudinal blood vessel called the ventral aorta. It runs mid-ventrally in the wall of the pharynx, below the endostyle and within the subendostylar coelomic canal. It pumps the blood forward. It gives up a series of paired lateral afferent branchial arteries, which goes to the gills. These run through each primary gill bar of the pharynx. At the base of each primary gill bar, each branchial artery having the contractile bulb or bulbous structure, which function as a branchial heart. The arteries of the primary gill bars remain connected with the vessels running through the secondary gill bars by transverse vessels present in the synaptic vein. The bulb pumps the blood into the gill bar. The apparent branchial arteries leave the gill bars dorsally as a efferent branchial arteries, and these open on each side into paired longitudinal vessels called as a right and a left dorsal aorta. And before opening into the dorsal aorta, each efferent branchial artery, it forms a plexus of capillary-like network of the blood vessels, and that we called it as a glomus. This is the glomus, and this is the right and the left branchial artery, and this one is right, and this is the median dorsal aorta. This is the efferent branchial artery. This is the afferent branchial artery. This is the ventral aorta, and these are the bulbulus or the bulbillus. Then next to this, there is the dorsal aorta. The dorsal aorta is the right and the left dorsal aorta run on either side of the epipharyngeal groove of the pharynx. Anteriorly, both the dorsal aorta continue as internal carotid arteries and reach the snout portion of the anterior part. These supply the blood of the oral hood region. The right aorta is much dilated. Posteriorly, the two aortae unite together behind the pharynx and it forms a common median dorsal aorta. It runs backward up to the tail in the middle line between the notochord and intestine. In the tail region, this is called as the caudal artery. The paired and median dorsal aorta supply blood to the body wall through numerous small vessels. The median dorsal aorta sends several intestinal arteries to the intestine. In the intestinal wall, these break up to form a network or plexus of capillary-like blood vessels. The blood flows backward into the dorsal aorta. Then the next is the subintestinal vein. From the tail region, the blood is collected by the caudal vein. It continues ahead below the intestine and in the region of hindgut and midgut it is called as a subintestinal vein. For the greater part of its length, subintestinal vein forms a plexus of capillary-like vessels which receives the blood from the gut wall. The blood flows forwards in it. Then the next is the hepatic portal system. In the midgut, the diverticulum of subintestinal vein is called as a hepatic portal vein. Means the hepatic portal vein, this is the hepatic portal vein and this is the parietal vein and which comes from this is the intestinal plexus through which the blood goes towards this is the intestinal plexus and these are the intestinal veins and these intestinal vein communicate to this subintestinal vein and that subintestinal vein it drains its blood toward this plexus that is a hepatic vein and this is the what hepatic portal vein which collects the blood from all the parts of the body. And from these hepatic portal vein, the blood goes toward the sinus venosus. In the midgut diverticulum, the subintestinal vein is called as a hepatic portal vein. It runs along the midventral border of the midgut diverticulum and splits up to capillary-like vessels, which ramify in the wall of diverticulum. In this way, the precursors of vertebrate hepatic portal system is formed. From the midgut diverticulum, the blood is collected by hepatic vein. It runs along the dorsal side of diverticulum, turns downwards and joins the sinus venuses. Means our hepatic portal system, it opens into the sinus venuses. Then the sixth one is a cardinal veins. The pair of anterior and posterior cardinal. These are the cardinal vein that is toward the head region. This is the cardinal vein toward the posterior end. This the paired anterior post and the posterior vein collect the blood from the muscles of the body wall on the ventrolateral region, and these run along the lateral body wall. These are the lateral body wall, and this is the common cardinal veins which are coming from the both the ends. The anterior and posterior cardinals of each side unite behind the pharynx, and it forms a common cardinal duct, uh, or it is called as a what, ductus qveri. Means this is a common cardinal vein, or the it is called as a qverian duct, which is present behind the pharynx region, and the two ductus qveri open into the sinus venuses. These both the ductus qveri, it opens where, into the what, this sinus venuses. Then the parietal vein. The blood from the dorsal body wall is collected by the pair of parietal veins. These are the parietal veins. So the blood from the dorsal body wall is collected by the what? The parietal veins, and these run above the intestine for some distance, and these open into the where, sinus venuses. So these are the what, the main seven blood vessels which help in the what, circulation of the blood. The blood is colorless in amphioxus and without corpuscles or cells. It does not contain any respiratory pigment. Probably the limited amount of oxygen which can be absorbed by the respiratory pigmentless blood, which is sufficient for small energy needs of the animal, we spend most of its life at rest. The main function of the blood is transportation of food and excretory products. In addition to blood vessels, the blood is found in the limb spaces also. This is the course of circulation of the blood. First of all, blood comes from all parts of the body. The blood is collected from the up to in the sinus venuses. Okay, and from the sinus venuses, blood goes to the ventral aorta. From ventral aorta, it reaches to the afferent branchial arteries. At the afferent branchial arteries, there are the bulbillus that act as a what, the heart, or the for pumping the blood. Then these apparent branchial arteries, it goes to the gill bars, and when they crosses the gill bar, this becomes a efferent branchial arteries. These efferent branchial arteries now get connected to the paired dorsal aorta, that is right and the left. But attaching to the paired dorsal aorta, they what, ramify, or it forms a plexus that is called as a glomus. Then paired dorsal aorta at the just side of the back of the this pharynx region, it forms a median dorsal aorta. From this median dorsal aorta, the what, the it goes posteriorly, or this median dorsal aorta, it continues posteriorly to form the caudal artery. This caudal artery now what the become now gets connected to the caudal vein, and this caudal vein it forms a plexus and it is connected to the subintestinal vein. From subintestinal vein it goes to the hepatic portal vein, then hepatic vein, and then sinus venesis. Sometimes what may happen, the median dorsal aorta it is attached to the gut wall. Instead of uh, that caudal artery, that is the it is attached to the gut wall, then subintestinal vein, hepatic portal vein, hepatic vein, and sinus vein. And the third way, that is the median dorsal aorta, that is on the ventrolateral body wall, that is a cardinal vein and the ductus qveri and the sinus venesis. Again, one thing, that is from the ventrolateral body wall, that is a parietal veins, then ductus qveri and the sinus venesis. This is the what median dorsal aorta, dorsal body wall, that is then the parietal vein and the sinus venesis. See, so these are the what course of circulation from where the different parts of the body, the blood finally reaches to the sinus venesis and then to the what? The ventral aorta and then branchial arteries, and such type of the course will what will going will repeat.